This is the first part of a three-part series on the new blue cartridges. To jump ahead, click the links in the comment section below. Part 1 covers the difference between the old classic blue cartridges versus the new blue, sometimes called Blue Plus cartridges. In Part 2, I want to do a quick review of the new blue cartridges, and in Part 3, I will discuss two methods to refill the new blue cartridges. First, as you can see, the old blue cartridges are a bit smaller than the new ones. This is deceptive because, as you'll see in a minute, the new cartridges are not bigger than the old ones, but the new ones do have a unique design. The old cartridges have a single hole for the mouthpiece. The new ones have multiple holes. The older cartridges come 5 to a pack. The new ones come 3 to a pack. They are both 510 threaded, and as you can see, they both fit my 510 threaded Joytech Mega. As an example, they both work with the Joytech Mega. Be sure to save this rubber, as it will be used later. Next, let's discuss the differences on the insides of the two tanks. I'm not going to show you the inside of the blue classic cartridges because you can see that in another video. As you can see, it contains a wadding and a wick to feed the coil down below. The new tanks are considerably different and are designed not to be refilled. I opened this one with a hacksaw here. On this tank, I removed the label to make it easier to cut open. I carefully cut off the top, wiggled the base out, and this is what it looks like on the inside. This bell piece at the bottom makes a tight seal around the coil that would go here between these two slots. E-juice is loaded into the tank and is wicked into the coil at the bottom of the tank. I'm not sure if you can see that, but at the bottom is a coil with a wick running through it that comes out of these slots on the inside of the bell. The E-juice surrounds the bell and acts like a waddingless tank, similar to a clearomizer or as in other tanks, like for the Joytech. Trust me, there are no chips, no puff counters, or limiters in this tank. In Part 2, I want to review the new tanks. I'm very disappointed with Reynolds Lorillard for changing their tanks. The new E-juice they are using has a different flavor than the original ones and tastes much more like the green smoke red label tobacco mentioned in my other videos. Kind of like a hazelnut with a green tea. The next problem I have with them is they leak from the top and the bottom of the tank. Since there's no wadding, the juice has nothing to wick into and can leak from both top and bottom. The top of the tank have this well with an absorbent pad, and the E-juice will sometimes come up and get trapped by this pad. This causes the E-juice to leak through the holes at the top of the tank, and then E-juice can get into your mouth and tongue. Overall, I give the new tobacco flavor a thumbs down, and the leaking is annoying and potentially dangerous. In part 3, I will discuss what you have all been waiting for: how to refill the tanks. If you search around, you can find people suggesting that you drill a hole in the tank and refill through that hole. To do that, you want to punch a dent in the side of the tank using an awl or a punch, like this. Of course, you'd want to hit it harder than that to actually put a dent in it. You may also need to use a vise to hold that steady while you put the punch in and to drill the hole. You want to make the hole, as our example here, about a half an inch or about 12 centimeters from the top or the bottom of the tank to avoid hitting the metal plug inside the bell, the metal plug inside here, or the bell here. Then take a metal drill bit and drill down on the punch dent. I recommend a 1/8 inch bit or larger to make the hole just big enough to fit the needle tip of an e-juice bottle. Don't overfill the tank or it will leak. After filling, cover with a piece of duct tape to cover the hole, or find something that will fit the hole to prevent leaking. I rate this method about 2 hammers because you'll probably need a vise or something to hold the tank while you're making the punch and drilling the hole. It can be very dangerous if you do it like I just did it. Now, how do you refill these tanks without punching a hole in the side? Okay. It took me a while to come up with this idea. Of course, it's not perfect, but it works, is relatively easy, and can be done with common household items. It is very important that the tank is empty for this to work as well. My lovely assistant will be helping me with this part. First, you want to get a saucepan with some water, bring it to a boil, and a bowl with some ice water. You want about 1.5 inches of water in the saucepan, enough to almost cover the tank, but not enough that it gets into the top of the tank. Getting water in the tank will ruin it for using with e-juice. Using a paper clip, insert it into the middle hole of the mouthpiece and pop it off. Then, take out the absorbent pad and set them aside. Put the rubber on the bottom of the tank. We want a good seal here to block the air vent holes on the side and bottom of the tank. I'm using a large rubber band and a binder clip to make it more waterproof. Hold the tank in some ice water for a minute. This will cause the air in the tank to contract. Using tongs or something safe to hold the tank, carefully put some e-juice into the top of the tank. Fill it all the way to the top.
Don't forget what kind of e-juice you're using.
Carefully put the tank in the boiling water. You want to hold it in the water till the bubbles completely stop coming through the e-juice. This will take a few minutes. Remove the tank from the hot water and put it in the ice water and have the e-juice ready to add more to the top of it. What we're doing here is creating a vacuum and sucking the e-juice in. When the tank is cold, remove the rubber band and the rubber. Before you do that, though, suck out any remaining e-juice that is in the top of the well. Also, suck out any remaining e-juice in the pipe. Using a paper towel, clean the tank, replace the absorbent pad, be sure to like this video if you found it helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions, please post them below.